If you're a man fresh out of a breakup, still hurting, obsessing over her, or feeling lost, jumping back into dating, what if embracing the red pill could help you stop the pain, develop unbreakable confidence, and start attracting higher quality women in weeks, not months? Today, as a relationship expert who's guided thousands of guys through this exact comeback, I will reveal 20 powerful ways the red pill transforms your recovery and dating game. So don't go anywhere. We're going live, baby.
We'll do it live.
You're listening to the premier podcast for men who want to not only be better with women, but want to be better men in general. This is the Come On Man podcast. And here's your host,
Paul Bauer.
Paul Bauer. He is a certified master life coach and NLP practitioner.
It's true. It's damn true. Happy hump day, guys. If you are new to the channel, my name is Paul Bauer. I help men level up and get better with women. And the funny thing about doing that is it tends to make us better men in all areas of our lives. Now, if you're a man fresh out of a breakup, heart still raw, mind racing with what ifs, and the dating scene feels like a minefield, pay close attention because today could be the turning point that changes everything. Most guys waste months or years stuck in pain, chasing the wrong women, or repeating the same mistakes that got them dumped in the first place. But what if you could fast track your recovery, rebuild rock solid confidence from the ground up, and start pulling in higher quality women who actually respect you in weeks instead of waiting for time to heal you? That's exactly what embracing the red pill does for men in your position, because it gives you the realistic tools to understand female nature, pass shish tests effortlessly. We're not at the 8-minute mark. Maintain polarity and create real abundance so you never feel desperate again. As a relationship expert who's walked thousands of guys through this exact comeback, from rock bottom to thriving on the dating circuit and even into healthy relationships, I'm about to share 20 powerful, battle-tested ways the red pill transforms your post-breakup life and skyrockets your success with women. So stick around till the end, because point number 13 alone could save you from the next heartbreak and change how you show up in every future relationship. Now, this episode I'm doing because Adam Lane Smith did an episode a while back on how red pill hurts men. And it's funny too, because the title of the video is almost word for word the title that he used, right? And he said, the Red Pill Manosphere. Did you know there was a book that came out years ago titled The History of the Manosphere by a guy named Ian Ironwood? And you can get it on Kindle. I don't think it's available in paperback or Audible, but History of the Manosphere by Ian Ironwood is available on Amazon. And one of the things that he says in that book is that the term manosphere was coined by some feminist magazine, like something like Salon or something like that. And it was designed to group all men's content into one category and then judge us by our worst actors. So if you want to think of our worst actors, like, who do you think of in the space? You probably think of whatever podcast. You probably think of Andrew Tate. You probably think of Fresh and Fit, right? Not to crap on any of those guys. They serve a purpose, but that's probably what you think of when you think of red pill or manosphere. Okay. But that, like, those types of shows, debating women and giving them White Claws and kicking them off the podcast and asking, you know, like, what color's your Bugatti and stuff like that. That was never what red pill really was. So guys like Adam Lane Smith, they're grouping us all together and judging us by our worst actors with there, right? And the thing is that if you are only consuming that kind of content, then, he's not wrong. It will hurt you. It will not help you in your dating life. It'll keep you bitter. It'll keep you stuck in red pill rage mode, right? And this is why you need to shake out of that Jerry Springer dopamine crap and start hitting the books, okay? Besides all of my books, okay, because we are going to self-promote today. That's what we're all about. But besides all of my books, which are all available right here, you've got books in the space that have been around for a long time. You got The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. He's got a whole series. He's got a whole series of books, right? You got that bastard Brian Stone's Praxeology series. I think he just released Praxeology Volume 4. Okay. You have No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover. You have When I Say No, I Feel Guilty, right? You have A Dominant Masculine Presence and The Essential Skills of a Masculine Presence series by R.P. Thor. You have The Book of Puck. You have Atomic Attraction. You have countless other books that don't just complain about women. They give you actionable advice on how to navigate the real world of women and the real world of dating and relationships, right? So there's, if you stop just tuning into the Jerry Springer crap and you actually start reading the books, there's lots of benefits. And we're going to go over at least 20 of those today. Okay. The number one benefit that I think most men get from red pill and understanding the game is it builds solid confidence. Okay. And women respond to a confident man the same way a man responds to a great pair of breasts. Okay. I can't say what I normally say. We're not at the 8-minute mark. I don't want to get demonetized, but red pill teaches men to reclaim their presence through self-focus, purpose, and independence, reducing desperation and boosting self-worth without seeking external validation. Now, a guy like Adam Lane Smith should probably respect that a little bit, because Adam Lane Smith, his whole shtick is that he's an attachment theory specialist, right? And the thing about red pill, and I've done episodes on this, like attachment theory and red pill. And what red pill really teaches men is how to raise your sexual market value, how to raise your SMV. Okay. The thing is that when guys focus on raising their SMV and stop focusing on the labels of different attachment styles, they become naturally securely attached, which is the ultimate goal in attachment theory, right? You don't want to be anxiously attached. You don't want to be avoidant, right? You want to be a securely attached person. Well, when you raise your SMV to a certain point, you become securely attached and women become anxious. And you can use that to your advantage, right? Guys, by the way, I do have new episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Do be sure to like, subscribe, hit those notifications, would you? I don't want you to miss a single episode. Another benefit of red pill is it helps guys overcome nice guy syndrome. Okay. Now, if you're new to the channel, I should say, if you're new to the channel, if you're not familiar with my content, or, any other, I would say, real red pill content, you might not understand what I mean by nice guy syndrome. It was a term coined by Dr. Robert Glover. He wrote a phenomenal book years ago before people even started using the term red pill. And in fact, I don't even think Dr. Glover would consider his book a red pill book. He wasn't writing towards that end, but we've sort of commandeered that book, and it's like book one in canon, right? If you were going to canonize red pill and create a true red pill Bible, a lot of people think Rollo's book, The Rational Male, is the red pill Bible, and I can see why they might say that. But if you wanted to really canonize this, you would actually include Dr. Glover's, and it would be like Genesis in the Bible, right? It would be like the first thing you need to learn, right? You've got to learn how to stop overly accommodating people. You gotta you gotta foster authentic strength instead of being a people pleaser, right? You gotta stop doing covert contracts. Red Pill teaches you how to do that, right? Stop doing things in order to get things from people without expressing what your needs are. Okay. Like, what's in it for me? Right. You got to start thinking that way instead of doing things for people, expecting something in return, and then being resentful that you're not getting those things in return. That's exactly what we call a covert contract, right? Red Pill teaches that sort of thing. Another thing that Red Pill teaches men is it teaches them how to understand female nature. Okay. And that's a big thing that gets really overlooked, because a lot of things about female nature is unflattering towards women. It removes the mystique. The thing is that the feminine mystique, women use that to their advantage, right? Like I always joke. I have this joke. It's a running joke. Nurse chick likes to play along with it, right? Where I say stuff like, women don't poop, right? Like, women, poop is gross, right? Like, that's something that men do. Men are disgusting, but women are these pure angels. They don't do gross things like fart and poop. Okay. Everyone knows that. Right. I say that tongue in cheek jokingly. Right. But the thing is that a lot of guys have this perception of women, that women are these pure, innocent creatures. It's like, no, bro, like, they are human beings. They are flawed just like everyone else. Okay. And we just sort of point out some of that stuff, not necessarily to shit on women, but just so men take them off the fucking pedestal. And I can say that now. We're not at the 8-minute mark, or we're past the 8-minute mark, right? We take the women off the fucking pedestal and treat them like actual human beings, right? And then we also don't allow women to walk all over us and manipulate us anymore, because we know what the game is now. Okay. Then the thing is about when you do that, you cut loose all these toxic chicks, you cut loose all these manipulative time wasters, and you spend time with women that have genuine interest in you, that have genuine desire in you. And then you have healthier relationships because you stop wasting time with the women that are wrong for you. You understand? And you'll never figure that out unless you understand women's nature and you get strategic about this sort of thing. Okay. So it provides realistic insights into hypergamy and evolutionary wiring of women, which helps men navigate dynamics without bitterness, leading to better direction and a better way to lead your relationships in a healthy way. Okay. If you let it, right? The thing also about Red Pill that a lot of people just don't get, and I try to talk about a lot in my podcast, is that it's neutral. Red Pill is very neutral. Okay. If you are watching something that is totally not neutral, then you're watching the wrong content. Okay. Red Pill by itself is neutral. You can put your own morals on it. You can put your own I guess end goals on it, right? Like one thing that I talk about, especially like in Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18, in the Dating and Spinning Plates chapter, guys have different relationship goals. Okay. Like, I'm never going to tell you, you need to get married. You should get married. I'm never going to tell you that. Okay. In fact, I don't think that's a good idea. Okay. But I'm also not going to tell you not to get married. Okay. If that's a value of yours, if you are a religious guy and that, for whatever reason, like, that is something that you must have, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. I am going to tell you the dangers involved and how you need to be cautious, and like you might want to talk to a lawyer, and these are potential problems with it. Okay, that's where, like, Red Pill is just, I'm giving you the information you need to make a better decision for you. Okay, so it's neutral. And you can put your own morals and values on top of it. It's just going to tell you how things are, how women act. This is what women are looking for. This is why they're looking for it. This is why they're wired this way, right? So that's really what it comes down to, okay? A big thing I talk about a lot, especially on Monday's episodes, but it applies in, when you're dating and stuff too, but I talk about it quite a bit and get her to fuck you again. How to handle shit tests. Actually, I talk about that in Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18 also. I talk about how to handle shit tests, right? Because you're when you are your first interactions with women, well, actually all your interactions with women are going to involve testing at some level. Okay. And the thing is that I don't think a lot of like blue pill type people teach guys about this stuff, right? I don't think Adam Lane Smith talks about shit testing at all, right? He probably thinks it's some kind of toxic myth that us red pillars talk about. I don't know. I don't watch his content. But the thing is that all women test men, either consciously or subconsciously. It's not, I'm not saying that because women are evil for testing you. There's a evolutionary reason why they do it, right? So I'm just going to tell you, yeah, women do it. They're all wired for it. They all test at some level or another. It's either conscious or subconscious. Most of the time, they don't even know they're doing it, right? And so, like, a lot of guys get offended by that, and they get all mad. Or, if a woman tests me, I'm going to dump her or whatever. It's like, okay, but the next woman's going to do it too. So you might as well learn how to handle it. And that's something that you can learn by consuming the right red pill content. How do I handle this properly to set the tone and lead relationships in a more positive way and maintain frame, right? So I don't get manipulated, okay? Let me ask you guys this, all right? If you could fix just one thing about how you showed up in your last relationship, nice guy habits, failing shit tests, chasing validation, losing frame, whatever, what would it be? What would it be? Let me know in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, drop a comment below, would you? If you could just fix one thing about how you showed up in your last relationship, what would it be? Okay. One thing I'll tell you about me, one thing that I realized that I was doing quite a bit in my past relationships was I was validation seeking. I was very much a validation seeking guy. I would do stuff for the attaboys. A lot of that was covert contract type stuff. I was telling the guys in Wolfpack yesterday, we were talking about flowers, right? Because one of the brothers in the pack, he's working on his marriage right now. His wife has been complaining for, a long time that he never buys her flowers. You never buy me flowers. You never buy me flowers. And so he was out and about, and she hadn't been saying that for a while. And he saw a nice assortment of flowers and decided, you know what? I think I'm going to do this kind thing. And there's nothing wrong with doing nice things in your relationship. Okay. But you've got to do those nice things without expecting anything in return, right? You've got to do it because you enjoy giving. Okay. There's nothing wrong with giving if you enjoy giving, but if you give expecting something, expecting a certain reaction, expecting sex, expecting anything, you're doing it as a covert contract, right? Well, anyway, one thing my man said was that, so he brings the flowers home and gives them to his wife, and she didn't react great to it. She was like, "Oh, thank you. Oh, thanks for the flowers." Right. And he was like, "I don't understand. Like she's been complaining for weeks and months and stuff that I'm not giving her enough flowers. I finally do this thing. And it didn't even register with her." Right. Well, the thing is, I don't know if he quite understands that, but him expecting her to, have a certain reaction is a covert contract in itself. Right. Like, you're expecting her to be like, "Oh, thank you so much." Right. Like, but if she doesn't do that, now you're like, "Fuck, why did I even buy her flowers?" Right. That's covert contract type stuff. And one of the things I said in there, I said, it's funny because women will say that kind of stuff, right? They'll say like, why don't you buy me flowers? Why don't you do this? I want a man that gives me flowers and stuff like that. The thing is one thing that I learned, and I told them this in the chat, was that women actually don't really value flowers that much. They really don't. They might say they want it. They think they want it because that's what you're supposed to do, and that's what they think they should want. But they really don't value flowers as much as they say they do. Right. And I had to learn this the hard way because in my relationship with Red Pill chick, I, like a simp, I bought that bitch flowers every month for 4.5 years. I would have them sent to her work, trying to get the brownie points, trying to get that reaction out of her. And it became a meaningless gesture. Right. It became meaningless. And by the end of the relationship, she absolutely didn't value any of that stuff. Right. And so I told the guys, I go, if anyone deserves flowers, it's Nurse Chick. Nurse Chick puts so much investment. She puts so much time. She does nothing but invest into this relationship. And she's such a loving woman and a caring woman. If anyone deserved flowers, it's Nurse Chick. And I said, but I rarely buy her flowers. I said, I didn't buy her flowers for the first 2 years of our relationship because I realized that buying flowers oftentimes is a covert contract and women don't really value it. So why am I going to waste time and money on buying shit that she's not even going to value? Right. And if I'm doing it expecting something in return, then it's my fault because I'm doing the covert contract type thing. Right. It's interesting. So that's one thing that I had to fix. I had to fix about myself is stop doing covert contracts type stuff. And if I'm going to do anything, do it without the expectation of getting something back. I'm doing it genuinely because I want to do this. Right. All right. That's something you can learn in Red Pill, Adam Lane Smith. One thing that Red Pill teaches guys is how to maintain polarity. Right. So the emphasis of balance of energy. I like to say energy. Rolo doesn't like energy. Cappy doesn't like energy. But the balance of energy for sustained attraction, preventing dead bedrooms by promoting direction and avoiding complacency. Right. So what's polarity? That means that you as the man fully embrace your masculine energy. Right. You embrace your masculine traits. If you don't like the word energy because it's too woo-woo for you, right? And then the thing is that when you do that, when you fully embrace your masculine traits, you stop doing feminine type things, like validation seeking for one is feminine behavior, right? It's feminine energy. If you stop doing that kind of shit and you set the tone and lead and you fully embrace your masculine, you stop doing the feminine shit, your girl now can relax into her feminine energy and be more submissive, be more supportive of your mission, all that kind of stuff, right? And the thing is that when guys fully understand this, they really start seeing dramatic changes in their relationships. They really do. And you'll actually see women that could be like the staunchest boss babe chicks. They want a guy that does that. They want a guy that allows them to shut their brain off and just be women. Right. And so when a guy can do that for her, she'll relax and she'll not understand what planet she landed on. She's like, everything's so fucking wonderful because now she's embracing her nature. Right. The thing is about like feminism and modern culture is it pulls us all, not just women, it pulls men and women out of our natural state, how we were designed. We were designed to be complements of each other, not competition for each other. And the thing is that feminism teaches men to be more like women, and it teaches women to be more like men. It was never about equality. It was about like modern feminism. What do they call it? Like fourth wave? What wave are we on? I don't even keep up with this shit, right? Like whatever wave of feminism we're on, it's all about dominating men. It's not about equality. And it hasn't been for years, right? And so in order to dominate men, that means you have to make women into men by really having women embrace their masculine energy. And now you have all these boss babes out here that are miserable. They're all on SSRIs. They're all on fucking antidepressants because they're not in their natural state. So Red Pill teaches men not to control women necessarily, right? But to embrace your masculine side and allow her to relax into her feminine. And then she naturally wants to follow your lead. We're not controlling her. She's doing that of her own accord, right? It maintains polarity. One thing that we're going to be talking about on Friday a lot. In fact, I'm hoping to really blow your guys' mind with Friday's episode. But Red Pill teaches an abundance mentality, right? So moves from scarcity thinking to knowing your worth, enabling men to walk away from poor matches and attract high quality women without desperation. The problem with classic blue pill thinking is guys get sniper dating mentality. They develop Oneitis. They go all in on one chick. And when it doesn't work out with that one chick, like they go and fall into depression. They go down this bottomless pit and stuff like that. And we're out here in the Red Pill space saying, look, don't give all your time and attention to one woman. And if that's your goal, if your goal is a monogamous relationship, which I don't have a problem with, right? And the good red pill content won't have a problem with that. It's all about being your own mental point of origin, doing what's best for you. If you like monogamous relationships because they're convenient, they are fucking convenient, right? Even if that's your goal, you can't give all your time and attention to one woman unless she's fucking earned it, right? And that's the thing is the blue pill thinking and guys like Adam Lane Smith, the concept of having a woman have to earn anything is completely foreign to them, and it's toxic in some way. It's like, how is that toxic? Because you're only going to invest in a chick that has earned it, right? And once she's earned it, it's going to be a joy to invest, right? It's like my relationship with Red Pill chick. I don't mind investing because she treats me so fucking well, right? She's fucking earned it, right? But 90% of these chicks out here are entitled as fuck. They are so entitled. They think they just deserve things because they were born with a vagina. That's not how anything works, right? But that's how guys enable women. They enable women to be manipulators. They enable women to walk all over them because they never learn, oh, maybe I should make this chick earn my time and attention, right? And so developing an abundance mentality also teaches men that there's more than just one woman out there for you, right? There's literally 4 billion women on the planet. There's plenty of them. If this chick isn't acting right, don't spend a lot of time trying to make her act right. Go find another chick, right? Now, the trap a lot of guys find themselves in is because they didn't get the memo. They didn't learn any of this stuff. They naturally followed the blue pill advice. They ran off and got married. They got themselves hitched. And now they're in a situation where they can't just easily walk away. And so that's why I wrote, Get Her to Fuck You Again. There's got to be a solution for that, right? To help guys turn that around. The guys that didn't get the memo. In the comment sections, whenever I talk about Get Her to Fuck You Again, there's always guys like, oh, just dump her, bro, or just cheat on her and all this kind of stuff. Like, those are options. We talked about that on Monday, right? Those are options for you. But it's like, just divorce her, bro. There's lots of financial and emotional consequences with that. Cheating on her, there's lots of potential consequences with that too, right? So like, if you can't turn things around and you do end up in a situation where you are having to divorce her, like the red pill recommendation is, you probably don't want to get married again. Like I always say, like, there's no reason to get the government involved in your relationships, but there's also no reason not to have relationships, right? Especially if you enjoy relationships. You know, a lot of these guys out here that complain about like MGTOW type guys and black pillars, they are so marriage focused that they can't fathom any other way of thinking about relationships than marriage being the end state. So they're like, oh, I'm not even going to talk to women because I might accidentally find myself in church one day getting married. Like, bro, that's completely up to you, right? You don't have to marry. No one, like, you will never see a post of mine saying you need to marry these chicks. Never. Right. And if you can't make your current marriage work and you end up divorced, I say, hey, bro, you should probably rethink getting married again. You should probably rethink that. Not to say you can't have a healthy relationship, right? But you should probably rethink that sort of thing. Okay. And it's just about giving you the facts, right? The marriage is a bad deal for men in our current legal system. Our current family court system is a bad deal for men. There's no arguing against that. Okay. So you got to develop an abundance mentality and realize that there's more than one woman out there. I guess I went off on a side tangent there. Okay. One thing that we will teach you in the red pill space is rebuilding physical attraction. Okay. So there's a big emphasis in stressing fitness, grooming, and vitality as signals of discipline. Okay, so it actually will make you more desirable and confident in your own skin when you look better because you go to the gym, right? That's money, muscles, game, and frame, right? Muscles is number 2 on that list. Okay, and the money part isn't for women, it's for you. It's for you to have freedom in your own life. It's not to be lavishing females with fancy dinners and gifts and all that kind of shit to try to impress them. That's one thing that a lot of guys get wrong, is they think that women only care about money. They only care about money if you lead with money. Okay. And that's a part of the things that we teach you in this, is that, look, if you want a woman that genuinely invests in the relationship for you because she loves you, she's into you, stop leading with your wallet and allow the women that could potentially be into you for you to show themselves. Okay. And that you do that through strategic dating, right? Drinks only in the evening, coffee dates type thing. I don't recommend coffee dates, but that's for another episode. But like drinks in the evening. And if she insists on steak dinners, you cut her loose. Like, she's not for you. She's a gold digger. Okay. There was a guy in one of our brothers in Wolfpack ran into one of those chicks on a dating app. He invited her to a coffee date because he clearly hasn't read my book. Well, why haven't you read my book yet, brother? Anyway, he invited her on a coffee date and she said, okay. And then the next text is, I don't typically do that sort of thing. I really only like to go out with guys who take me out to dinner. And we said, unmatch that bitch, dude. Just unmatch her right there. She's a waste of your time. She's a manipulative time waster. And she's going to try to use you for your money. Like, that's how you weed these chicks out. Okay. You like, just as I said before, women shit test men. Men need to interest test women. You need to test a woman's interest level, and you need to test her ability to follow your lead. If she gives you a bunch of guff like that out the gate, she failed. Cut her loose. Okay. A lot of Red Pill is using women's strategies for men's advantage. Okay. Women shit test you and they weed you out through their shit tests. You need to test for interest and test her ability to follow your lead. And a chick, not all women out there are going to follow your lead. In fact, a lot of them won't, because they're all raised to be boss babe chicks. Cut them loose. Okay. Cut them loose, get to know quickly and move on to the next chick. There's 4 billion chicks out there, right? By the way, guys, I've mentioned everything I wish I knew when I was 18. A lot of the stuff that I teach when it comes to Red Pill, it's all in this book. Okay. This book is a book for life. It teaches you mindset. It teaches you how to make money, how to invest for retirement. It teaches you fitness, basic fitness. It teaches you dating and attraction. It breaks that down into a science. It talks about long-term relationships, everything I wish I knew when I was 18.
Tired of wasting time on dead-end dates and attracting the wrong women? You put in the effort, but end up with dates that go nowhere, or relationships that fizzle out before they even start. You're tired of it. Dating shouldn't feel like a never-ending chore. And you know deep down that you're capable of attracting a woman who sees your value. The problem? You haven't been taught how to attract the right women and keep them. What if you could date efficiently, quickly filtering out the women who aren't right for you, and instead attract high-quality women who are genuinely interested? What if, when you found the right one, you knew exactly how to maintain that attraction for the long haul? With everything I wish I knew when I was 18, you'll learn exactly how to master the dating game, how to identify and attract high-quality women, how to weed out the ones wasting your time, and how to keep that attraction burning in a long-term relationship. This isn't about playing games. It's about developing the confidence and mindset to naturally draw the right women to you, while keeping the spark alive for years to come. Don't waste another day chasing the wrong women. Grab your copy of Everything I Wish I Knew When I Was 18 and start mastering the art of efficient dating. Find the right woman and keep her.
Indeed. Oh, AK Renegades in the house. What's good, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you in the house, CW. Dark Fitness says, happy Wednesday, fellas. Smashing that like button is alpha. That's true. That's true. Alpha males smash that like button. Beta males smash the down button. Okay. It's all engagement, though. It's all engagement. Dark Fitness says, the red pill will save more men than it will hurt. The ones who gravitate towards the Jerry Springer type stuff don't want to really do anything with the information. They just like to shame these whores. Yes, that's true. They do. Well, you know what? The thing is about that type of Jerry Springer content is a lot of guys, it keeps guys in the red pill rage phase, which I talked about at the beginning. And you guys got to understand there's there's different phases of unplugging, right? Rollo did a whole article on this years ago, and it basically follows the stages of grief process. But red pill rage is a part of the process. You're going to be mad when you realize that you've been lied to your whole life, and like you've been walked all over and you didn't have to, and you wish you would have known all this stuff. A lot of it is anger at yourself for not knowing this stuff, but you can't blame yourself because we're all raised with the same blue pill, social programming, right? So you can't really you just got to understand that, like, okay, like, well, I'm just going to do better going forward, right? And that's sort of how you navigate through the red pill rage phase. But a lot of the guys in the red pill rage phase, they have these revenge porn fantasies of holding women accountable, right? And so what they'll do is they'll send a fucking $500 super chat to the Fresh and Fit guys so that they can give this one chick on the panel a piece of their mind, right? Because they're holding her accountable. It's like those bitches walk away with 500 new subscribers after every time they make an appearance on that show. Who's really being held accountable? In fact, the guy who just paid $500 for the super chat to hold her accountable will now go and subscribe to her OnlyFans because he's still lonely, right? So those women aren't being held accountable. It's a complete waste of time. You might as well learn how to, you might as well go and get some actionable information from a better show, right? Even though if it might be less entertaining, right? But it's going to be more informative. And CJ says, you look at it a lot different when you realize relationships are a religious belief. It's like a form of slave morality, if you know what that term means. Are you sure relationships are a form of slave morality, or marriage is a form of slave morality? Right? Because you can have a relationship and not be a slave to anything. You know what I mean? Like, I would rethink that, bro. I would look at it from a different point of view. Let's see here. Promotes emotional resilience, right? So it teaches frame control and indifference to outcomes, helping men stay composed under pressure and recover from emotional setbacks like breakups. Like, one thing that I try to advocate for men is I try to teach men to be more lovingly detached in their relationships, right? If you can get to a place where you're lovingly detached, the thing about that, the magic of that is it actually makes you more securely attached, right? Because it allows you to be to take a step back, look at the relationship from almost like a third party observer perspective, and you're able to see how things are going so you can better navigate and make better logical decisions on how to set the tone and lead the interaction. The problem is that most guys aren't lovingly detached. They are totally outcome dependent. And that means they get emotionally invested in the relationship itself. And then when things don't go right, they are crushed by it. They are complete shells of themselves. And I've been there. Right. I know how that feels. Like when my breakup with Red Pill chick, I spent a whole week laying on a couch, barely able to breathe. Right. Like, cause I was so heartbroken. I thought she was the one. Right. Like, cause the first marriage, well, clearly she wasn't the one, but this one, she's the one. Right. And then when that didn't work out, oh, my life is over and all this kind of shit. Right. So when you learn how to be more lovingly detached, you aren't an emotional wreck when things don't work out. You just like, oh, okay, well, that's the whole concept of she's not yours, it's just your turn, right? Like I keep mentioning Adam Lane Smith because he did an episode on how red pill hurts men, right? The thing is, the whole saying of she's not yours, is just your turn. I used to hate that term. I used to think it was just a terrible mindset to have going into a relationship, right? I thought you were setting yourself up for failure with that kind of toxic mentality until I realized what it's meant for. Okay. It's not meant to be toxic. It's meant so that men have less attachment to outcome. It's about letting go of that attachment. The Buddha, right? The Buddha taught us, and I'm not a Buddhist, but the Buddha taught us that all human suffering comes from attachment. So if you can lovingly detach, and when I say lovingly, it means you're doing it for the benefit of the relationship, right? You're lovingly detached because you do love her and you want to navigate this in a healthy way. You have to take a step back and not be so emotionally involved. And when you're less emotionally involved, you can handle things more rationally. When she's being emotional, because women are more typically led by their emotions, you're able to respond more rationally, which puts you more in your masculine energy, which improves the polarity of the relationship, which allows her to relax more into her feminine and trust your leadership more. It's all a compounding effect that leads to healthier relationships, right? It sounds toxic though. Sounds toxic. It improves your dating game, right? So it offers practical strategies for approach, screening, and compatibility, turning rejection into this doesn't make sense, right? But it allows you to it turns rejection into a growth opportunity. Okay. So like one thing that a lot of guys are afraid of is they're afraid of rejection. So they don't go for women that they want. They go for women, they settle for women that they can get because they're afraid of rejection, all this kind of stuff. Like Red Pill's like, no, like embrace that rejection, right? What can you learn from it? Right. And a lot of times you go up and you might get rejected by 100 chicks. Right. And so then it's like, okay, this one girl rejected. A lot of guys quit after the one girl. This isn't working. This one girl rejected me. It's like, you got to take a sample size and treat things like a science experiment. Okay. You need to get a bigger sample size before you change the strategy. But a lot of guys will quit after one chick. Right. So it's like, we teach you like, hey, there's a law of averages and there's a strategy to this sort of thing. And you'll find that the more chicks you talk to, the more yeses you get. Right. It's like, so Red Pill will teach you this sort of thing. Red Pill came out of the pickup artist community, right? A lot of people, it's funny. I do find it weird when people on like X call me a PUA. Usually it's MGTOW black pill guys. They're like, oh, you're a PUA. And I was, no, I'm not. I would never categorize myself as a pickup artist, right? But I have learned a strategy that is very effective at dating and spinning plates, right? But I'm not like I'm not fucking mystery doing magic tricks and shit, trying to impress women. It encourages lifelong growth. Okay. So one thing that I teach in all my books, and something I learned from both Coach Corey Wayne and also Bob Proctor. And Bob Proctor is the furthest thing from Red Pill, right? Bob Proctor was a law of attraction coach, right? And I'm a big law of attraction guy, but they both teach to read books multiple times. Now, Bob Proctor took it to a whole other level. He read Think and Grow Rich every day, just, maybe a chapter or even a page a day for 60 plus years, right? But that repetition is the mother of skill. It's one of the things that we teach, but also a part of lifelong growth is realizing that there's no finish line. Right. That's the hardest thing for a lot of blue pill thinkers to wrap their minds around, because they think that they're constantly hitting these end goals, right? Like, oh, I'm out dating. I got to get into a relationship because that's the end state. I can stop trying once I get a girlfriend because I already got her. I don't have to impress her. Right. And then they get dumped and then they're heartbroken and then, whatever. And then, they try again. And then their mindset is, well, okay, I'm not at the end state yet, but marriage is the definite end state. Once I put a ring on it, I'll be safe and I can stop trying and I can stop putting the work in. So then they put the ring on it. And then we have a 50% fucking divorce rate for first-time marriages that are filed by 80% of women because men stop doing what got them to the show to begin with. And so one of the things that I teach is the work never stops. You can never stop improving on yourself. Okay. There's always work to be done. There's always, mindset things that you can be working on, fitness level things you can be working on improving your career, getting to the next level. The work never fucking stops. So it's a lifelong process of self-improvement. And once you embrace that, life becomes this fun game. You mean I get to to take from brother Nathan and the Wolfpack, You mean I get to get better? You mean I could continuously improve for my whole life? That's amazing, right? Because he doesn't like how I say the work never stops, because that sounds like a negative. Oh, God, sounds exhausting. But when you put it into a positive spin, like, you mean I get to get better every day? This is amazing, right? Think of it that way, right? But that's something that good red pill channels will promote. They'll promote constant self-improvement. Okay. Facilitating healthy breakups. Okay. One thing now, if you read the title of my books, you might go, God, this is toxic as shit. Right. One thing that I've learned in this space is that a lot of the outrageous shit that we say is to grab your attention. It's what we call a hook, right? If you're a content creator, you understand the concept of a hook. The thing is that we live in a too long didn't read society. We live in a scroll society where people are just scrolling their social media feeds, and you have to capture people's attention so they stop the scroll and tune in. Okay. That, like, all content creators have hooks. Okay. Red Pill is no different. Red Pill has learned that in order to grab people's attention and get them to actually, like, read the content, read the books, watch the videos, read the blog articles, read the Reddit post or whatever, you have to grab people's attention with a good solid hook. And one of the things that will grab people's attention is polarizing statements. Okay. Polarizing sentences will grab people's attention and make them stop the scroll. Okay. So largely a lot of the toxic shit that you see in Red Pill is honestly to get you to stop the scroll and actually learn something. Okay. So when I have a book called Forget That Bitch, it's funny. One of my old school 3% brothers, brother Luke, when that book came out, he's like, I sent him a free copy of it, and he goes, dude, this book is really good, man. And he's like, this is really going to help a lot of guys get over it. He goes, but my ex wasn't a bitch. You need to put some kind of, like, disclaimer in there that says, like, I understand that your girl wasn't a bitch, right? But I'm not, like, because it's written for a guy who has been dumped and he can't stop obsessing over his ex and trying to get her back. Okay. Which is an unhealthy breakup. That's an unhealthy mentality, because rejection breeds obsession, and being constantly obsessed with a woman that's dumped you and moved on, you're giving up your life hoping she comes back around. Okay. And then you got breakup coaches out there that will capitalize on that vulnerability of yours and sell you courses and shit on how to get her back and stuff like that, where there's clearly no guarantee. Right. And so what Red Pill teaches is, when a woman has dumped you, you need to move on. Okay. There is no getting back or reconciling. There is only moving on. It's better time and effort spent like getting new women than it will ever be trying to reattract an ex and getting her to see you in a different light. Okay. Because women have preconceived notions of you. You behaved a certain way for so long that convincing her that you've changed somehow will never work. She's always going to be looking for the old you to pop out. And if you don't truly work on yourself for you, it will pop out. Okay. It's all performative to get her to change her mind. It's never going to be sustainable. Okay. So what we teach is it's better to improve for you, to make a new version of you that is sustainable, and then acquire new women that don't have preconceived notions of you. You'll do infinitely better, and you'll be infinitely happier if you do that. So we teach that sort of thing in Red Pill. That's a healthy dynamic. That's a healthy way of learning from the past and moving on to have a better future, right? By the way, we have guys that are working on all of this stuff. If you are in a position like this and you want to swap notes, because that's what Red Pill was originally. It was originally guys in forums and places like, Facebook groups and Reddit and stuff, swapping notes to work on all this stuff to be the best versions of themselves. If you want to swap notes with guys that are fucking killing it right now, It's time to run with the wolves, brother. Beer club? Not anymore.
Wolfpack, you fix what's broken. You lead like a man again. Too sweet. No pity, no therapy. Just fire, just flame. Cold bed, broken home, midlife drift, feeling alone. You don't need hacks, blogs, lies. You need men with fire in their eyes. We rebuild from the ground up. No excuses, no soft stuff. Telegram lit 24/7. Brothers locked in steel, not heaven. Step inside the pack. We don't fall, we attack. Truth, fire, presence, we bring it back. Masculine pride, no time to slack. Step inside the pack. Drop your past, claim your track. No therapy talk, no playing small. We sharpen blades, we take it all.
Now, I mentioned hooks before. The me crushing that beer can. One, there's two reasons for that, because Wolfpack used to be called Beer Club when I first got it, and then we had all these guys going, but I don't drink though. I don't drink. I don't get it. I don't drink alcohol. I'm not going to join your drinking club. And I was like, it's not about drinking, so I had to change the name so guys would stop getting confused by that. But that crushing of a can is what we call a visual and audio hook, right? So instead of saying something that like is inflammatory that will grab your attention, crushing a can will grab someone's attention. You'll see it on TikTok too. You'll see people with like fidget spinners. They'll spin a fidget spinner right when the video starts, because that'll grab your attention. You'll see people with a cup of ice and they'll shake ice because that'll grab your attention. They'll like ring a bell or some shit like that. That's a hook. Just putting you guys on game when it comes to social media. Nurse Chick's in the house. She says, good morning, gentlemen. Happy hump day. Nurse Chick always gets this.
I'm so naughty.
Indeed.
I'm gonna come.
Oh, I will.
That pussy must be ridiculous.
It is, guys. Nurse Chick's exhausted. She worked all day yesterday because she's working on her nurse practitioner degree. And so when she becomes a licensed nurse practitioner, I'm going to have to stop calling her Nurse Chick and start calling her Sugar Mama. Anyway, she worked all day yesterday doing clinicals, which if you guys don't know what clinicals are, it's basically she's got an intern for no money with another nurse practitioner to learn the trade. And she has to have so many hours of that in order to get her degree. So she did that all fucking day yesterday, came home for about an hour, and then had to work all last night. She's fucking exhausted. Poor thing. I appreciate you waking up long enough to leave a comment though, babe. And then user, a bunch of gobbledygook. He says, once you get out of the relationship you had going and unplug, then you see your ex behavior that you never knew will blow your mind. We didn't do our homework before choosing her. Every lie she said. And that's another benefit of Red Pill, is we learn to objectively see what women do, right? Like one thing I always tell guys is don't listen to what women say, pay attention to what they do, pay attention to what they respond to. That sounds toxic as hell. What do you mean don't listen to women? It's like, listen, women say all sorts of shit. A lot of it's manipulative bullshit. Women are natural manipulators. I'm not saying this to hate on women. It's an objective fact. Women invented manipulation. They had to. Okay. If you think about it from an evolutionary standpoint, men were always bigger and stronger. They can, like, if a man goes and talks to another man, men size each other up. They know that if this guy's bigger than me, I need to acquiesce in some way, right? If I'm bigger than him, I don't have to fucking do what he tells me to do. Men didn't have to use manipulation because we had physical force. Women, being the weaker sex, didn't have physical force. So in order to get things from other people, they had to learn to manipulate. It's just been, it's in their DNA. It's not a bad thing necessarily. Like there's a reason it's like that. I'm not saying it to be a toxic asshole. It's just how it is. Women are natural manipulators. And so we teach men like how to spot that manipulation and how to navigate it and how, whatever. And so it makes men a little more strategic, which women hate because now they can't manipulate us as well. But the thing is that women don't want a man that they can manipulate. They lose respect for those guys. It's called the betaization process. If she's able to manipulate you, she will use all that to her advantage and then cheat on you. Right? Because you are a weak man that she can manipulate. But if she can't manipulate you, she's like, oh, this guy's a strong guy. I should stick with this guy. Right? Like that's women don't want to win. Right? So we teach guys to be more discerning when it comes to the women that they keep around and how to avoid manipulation. Right? It's a strategic net benefit for men. Brother Dale with $1,990 super chat. A microphone. Is there something wrong with my mic? Is that what you're saying? I don't get it. Guys, do a mic check real quick. Is he saying that my mic sucks? I'm going to give him this one because red pill means being a misogynist.
Misogyny.
Yes, I'm going to give him that one today. Shout out to Dar Fitness for that sound drop for getting that to me. And then Brother Dale also sent a $990 super chat. You are just rolling in it today, brother. I appreciate it. He says, smiling face with horns. I'm going to give him this one here.
I was just going to say it. This guy fucks. Am I right?
He definitely fucks. Not able to submit super chat. Oh, you sent another one. He sent a $4,000 super chat. That's amazing. Pair character exaggerated, sketching his arm forward to offer a cup of coffee. I don't understand that comment, brother. Explain it to me in Wolfpack, in the Wolfpack chat. Let me know what you're talking about there. But I'm going to give him this one because this is also what we do in Red Pill.
Shame this horse.
We've got to shame these whores. And let's see. Dar Fitness says, get in the Wolfpack. Too sweet, brother. Miles says, I like this podcast. You made some good points. I find when people criticize Red Pill, it's normally the sensational content over the actual lessons. Yeah, and I agree, right? So, and it's a valid criticism. It's a valid criticism because that sensational content, it gets the views. It gets the views, but you don't really learn anything from it. But that's what they're judging us off of, which is what the manosphere is, right? It's a term coined by feminists to group us all together and judge us by our worst actors, right? Wade Emery says, it's fucking fire. Wait, that's not what he said. I'm paraphrasing. Those are fire emojis for you guys listening on audio. And above the microphone. Oh, above the microphone. What are you talking? I don't tell me. Just tell me in the just tell me in the chat, man. I'm getting confused here. Okay. Where are we at? Oh shit, we're almost at an hour. I'm going to try to wrap this up as quick as possible. Learning Red Pill gives you a better strategy that allows you to sustain long-term attraction better, right? Now, one thing that we will also be real with you about in the Red Pill space is that there's no guarantees, okay? Getting in a long-term relationship, agreeing to be exclusive, putting a ring on it, getting a marriage contract with the government does not create a buffer from the sexual marketplace. People cheat all the fucking time, okay? People leave each other all the time. People get divorced all the time. So anyone telling you that this is a guarantee, they're lying to you. They're straight up lying to you. And we won't tell you, we won't lie to you that way. We'll say, hey, look, you can get married, but putting a ring on it is no fucking guarantee that she won't cheat on you or divorce you, okay? You might think that you're locking her down, but you're really not. There's no buffer from the sexual marketplace. So really it's a waste of time getting the government involved. Okay. But we do give you strategies that are more likely to sustain that long-term attraction. A legend in the space that a lot of you guys probably haven't heard of because he only gives actionable information is a guy named Archwinger. Archwinger was one of the moderators in the old Married Red Pill subreddit. And Archwinger's writing a book right now. I think it's a novel. I don't think it's like a relationship type book. I do think it's a novel that's written through a Red Pill lens though. I'd love to read it. I don't know. I don't follow anybody's Substack. I don't do Substack, but he has a Substack. If you guys want to follow his stuff, if you guys want to go to the old Red Pill archive, or look in the old Married Red Pill subreddit, you can search for his stuff. He's got really great stuff. Well, I had Archwinger on the podcast a couple years ago, and one of the things that he said that I quote all the time is that red pill is like counting cards. Right? You won't always win, but it does give you a better advantage against the house. Right? If you go in and play blackjack at a casino and you're not using any kind of strategy like counting cards, the house will always win. If you play long enough, the house will always win. Right? But if you go in there counting cards, you're going to win a lot more than you'll lose. Right? So red pills like that. It gives you actually a strategic advantage when it comes to relationships and dating. It teaches men how to better protect themselves legally and financially in relationships. So we talk about the risks of, the modern family court systems. We encourage awareness and safeguards to maintain your sovereignty, right? And avoid devastating losses. Okay. Now we'll say, okay, look, if you're going to get married, okay, talk to an attorney before you pull that trigger. Get a prenup. Now, black pill MGTOW guys go, prenups get thrown out all the time. I've had attorneys on the podcast to talk about this sort of thing. Okay. Whole entire prenups don't typically get thrown out unless you go and get your prenup done on LegalZoom, or you're writing on the back of a fucking napkin or something like that. If you go and pay good money to have an attorney write up a prenup, they're pretty binding. They're pretty well binding, but depending on state law, there's certain state laws that'll supersede certain things in there, right? Like you're not going to get out of child support in most states. You're not. You can't put a provision in there saying, if you divorce me, I'm not paying for the children. The state will ensure that you'll pay for the kids. So what a judge will do is he will redline that part of the contract, but that part of the prenup, and throw that part out, and because that's unenforceable. That's like any other contract. If you have an unenforceable thing in a contract, a judge will throw it out, right? The thing also with prenups is it doesn't protect your assets that you gained while in the marriage. It only protects pre-assets, right? So then there's all sorts of other legal maneuvering that you can do that we'll talk about, right? Like there's things like irrevocable trusts or offshore trusts if you have a shitload of money, right? There's different ways to protect your assets. There was that soccer player that everything was in his mom's name. He bought houses and put it in his mom's name. He bought all this kind of shit. Everything, all the bank accounts were in his mom's name. And so when this woman went to go after his money, he technically didn't own any of it. It was all under his mom's name, right? So she couldn't get any of that stuff. We'll tell you, like, hey, if your end goal is to get married, then you got to be strategic about this sort of thing. Okay. If you guys really want to learn more about divorce and the potentials of divorce and legal strategy and all that kind of shit, grab brother Nathan from the Wolfpack. Grab his book, Divorce is War. Okay. It came out a couple months ago. It's now out on Audible. Go get that book. Okay. He talks all sorts of legal strategies and stuff in there. But a lot of that stuff is preventive medicine, right? You have to do this stuff before you pull that trigger. A lot of guys never got any of this information. They pulled that trigger and now they're fucked. And that's why I try to give them a solution to their problem and get her to fuck you again, right? How do you turn this around? You pulled that trigger, bro. Like, how do you turn this around? You made the decision to make her your life companion. Like, no one gets married going into it hoping that they have to divorce someday, right? You go into it expecting it to last, and that will require some effort on your part. And if you've let things slide so far, here's a strategy on getting out of it, right? But otherwise, like, one thing that we'll say is marriage is a bad deal for men. Don't get fucking married, right? Don't get married. But I'm not going to tell you not to get into a relationship. Fun fact, you can actually get into a long-term relationship with a woman and not marry her. Isn't that wild? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that weird? Like, a lot of guys are like, what? Like, that doesn't even make sense. They have this paradigm that the inevitable end state must be marriage. It doesn't. have to be marriage. It doesn't. Okay. And I'll tell you what, if you are with a chick and she ends up dumping you because you won't marry her, she's not in the relationship for love anyway. Okay. She's in it for the title and the ring. She's in it for the title and the ring. And if you're not going to give her those things, she's going to walk. She never loved you to begin with, bro. A chick who truly loved you doesn't need a marriage contract to define the relationship. And AI is going to cut that one. Follow me on social media. The link's in the description, and watch out for that clip when AI cuts it. Okay. It enhances communication skills. Now, one thing that I say on the podcast all the time is that communication is not the key to a healthy relationship, because that's common blue pill advice. Communication is the key to conflict resolution. It's not the key to a healthy relationship. The key to a healthy relationship is a genuine burning desire. And you can only get that by inspiring that through a woman and by maintaining polarity in the relationship. That's how you keep a genuine desire and attraction going in a relationship, right? But communication, when there is conflict, will inevitably come up. And so one thing, like some of the things I teach in all my books, is how to communicate from a position of authority to maintain frame and maintain your leadership status in the relationship, so that she maintains, so that she's allowed to relax into her feminine and feel heard and understood. Because a lot of the arguments you get into is because women just want to feel heard and understood. Women don't typically want to solve problems. They just want to feel heard and understood. So if you can make her feel that way, you're golden, right? So we teach you strategies on how to do that. There's effective communication tactics that allow you to speak from a position of authority and a leader in the relationship that she respects, right? So we teach that stuff. One thing that we talk about is being a man of purpose, being a man of mission. So we redirect energy from pining for a certain woman and putting her on a pedestal to having personal goals, career, passions, and all that kind of stuff. Focusing on your purpose tends to make you more magnetic, right? Regardless of relationship status. And then if the relationship ends because you're lovingly detached, that's okay, because you're still focused on the mission, right? What would James Bond do? Mission first, always. Sex for dessert, right? That's how you got to be. We talk about navigating challenges realistically. So we offer non-cynical, aware view of tests and challenges, which turns obstacles into opportunities for stronger bonds and informed exits, right? So that's another benefit of Red Pill. And then the last one here is it offers effective relational methods. So it provides a more effective method of maintaining relationships that greatly increase the odds of success through consistent application of the praxeology. And that's one thing that a lot of guys like Adam Lane Smith don't understand about Red Pill. They think it's an ideology. They think it's a movement. It's none of those things. Red Pill is a praxeology. It's a set of tools. It's a set of tools that you can model. Okay. And if you model them, that means it's repeatable. That's what a praxeology is. We take what works, we leave what doesn't. Okay. A lot of the blue pill shit that you learn is ineffective, right? Being more vulnerable, that's ineffective. I've been talking about that too much lately. But those are 20 ways Red Pill helps men. I hope you guys got some value out of the episode, but that's all I got. What else do we got here? Let's see here. Dale, it says you've tried sending super chats today with no luck. You actually sent like 4 super chats. I'm seeing them all here, brother. So just so you know, they're all here. Stop sending money today, or don't. I'll take it. Miles says, I think describing Red Pill as enlightened self-interest for men makes sense. And that's what it is. It's enlightened self-interest. It's being your own mental point of origin, to coin Rollo Tomasi. That's exactly what it is. What's in it for me? Right? What's in it for me? And it's like I think Rollo coined this analogy too, right? It's like being on an airplane, and when the stewardess says, before you can help others, you got to put the mask on yourself, right? That's what Red Pill teaches. What's in it for me? There's a thing that I saw posted on X. Nuclear Caudillo did a quote tweet on it too, and fucking blew up. All these people losing their shit in the comments. And I made a tweet on it too. It was a video of a woman walking with a man and some kind of fucking hand signal. This is a subtle hand signal women you need to be aware of, that women might do, that shows that they might be in danger, and so that you can go and rescue them from bad guys, right? And one thing I said is, imagine getting stabbed or shot for some chick that you don't even know, right? Right? Like, that's very red pill. It's like, hey, like, there's no net benefit for me to go put my life in danger for some chick that probably made a bad decision and went with the wrong guy. You know what I mean? And the thing is, if you look at domestic violence cases, when guys go in to save a woman from a domestic violence situation against another guy, he goes in there and beats this guy's ass. He might get stabbed or shot in the process by the guy that's abusing her, and she'll still go with the abuser. So why did you risk your life for that? Right? So that's some of the toxic shit that we talk about in Red Pill. And so I made a comment about it. And the thing is that, like, because I had to restart X back in December because I got banned for some reason in like October or November. I'm starting all over from X, so I don't have a big following on X. And the thing is that, like, I post a lot of comments and stuff, because in order to grow your X account, you got to be comment guy, right? So I'm comment guy right now, but I take screenshots of that stuff and I post it on my bigger social media, like Facebook, right? I have over 100,000 followers on Facebook, so that shit always goes viral. And I posted one saying, imagine getting stabbed or shot for some chick you don't even know. And some guy in the comments goes, Paul's not an alpha male. And I go, well, so your definition of an alpha male is a guy that puts his life in danger for strangers, you know? And he's like, yeah, alpha males fight for people weaker than them and people that can't defend themselves. That's what alpha male is. And I'm like, have you ever wondered why we're conditioned to set ourselves on fire in order to keep other people warm? Like, what's the benefit? Like, who benefits from that? Why does society condition men to do that, to be selfless and to give up your lives for things? Like, what's the benefit for you? Fortune and glory? Like, what is it? But we're all conditioned that way, right? The Vikings were very big on conditioning men to go and die, right? If you go and pick up a sword and you die in battle, you're going to Valhalla, right? Islam's very good about this, right? If we declare jihad, you're going to die and get 75 virgins. Isn't that amazing, to give up your life for this cause and mission? The only people that benefit from that are the people that, you know, that are running the show, right? They're not giving up their lives, right? The king of the Vikings isn't fucking giving up his life. There's no benefit there. Okay. So the king benefits, the president benefits, fucking women benefit, but you don't benefit as a man to be a dutiful plow horse. So it has nothing to do with being an alpha male or beta male. It has everything to do with enlightened self-interest, right? You got to ask, what's in it for me? And because that goes against the narrative, it's considered toxic, right? Isn't that, it's wild. Like, you guys never, not you guys, right? But a lot of people never stop and consider that sort of thing because they've got a paradigm programmed to be selfless in all situations. And they think that somehow they'll be rewarded for it. And you very rarely will be rewarded for your sacrifices like that. Very rarely. Yeah. Right. And you can't have a message like that getting out there, because who's going to go fight the wars? Right. And I say that as a military veteran. I say that as a military veteran. Right. And I'm proud that I served my country. I am one of those guys that thinks that every kid, every boy coming out of high school should go serve a tour in the military, at least 1 4-year stint in the military, just to fucking grow up and see what the real world's like. Right. I think it would behoove every man to do that. You have to go through a whole rite of passage type thing, which most guys don't do anymore. And that's boot camp, or if you go to some kind of specialty school, it might be that. Most guys don't ever have that experience, and they're raised to be weak. Right. But military will teach you differently. But I'm also not going to tell every guy, I won't say you should do this and wag my finger. Right. Like, I personally think that. But it's not going to fly with everybody. One of the Wolfpack guys said, I need to write a book on parenting. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know, man, because I was like, well, what would I put in that? Right. And he's like, because honestly, that's sort of what everything I wish I knew when I was 18 is for. It's like, it's to hand this to your teenage boys so that they fucking learn about life. Right. But, and it's you don't have to be 18 to read that book. You could be 35 because you probably still don't know some of this shit. But that's the point. And he goes, no, you need to tell boys what they should be doing. And I was like, I don't should all over people. That because, you know, military isn't for everybody. It's not going to work out for everybody. It's not going to fly with everybody. Some people have totally different beliefs about military. Guys in the red pill space don't think anybody, you know, people should go in the military and stuff like that. So it's like, that would be my personal viewpoint. It definitely wouldn't be from a red pill perspective to say, you know, guys coming out of high school need to join the military. Okay, that's for another episode. Guys, tune into the podcast on Friday. It will be Frame Friday, and we will be talking about abundance mentality, not just with women though, okay, but in all areas of your life. A lot of guys in the space talk about abundance with women, but they have a scarcity mindset about everything else in life. And I'm going to blow your mind with how it actually applies to literally everything. Okay. And how having an abundance mentality will start making life happen for you instead of you struggling against it. Okay. So we'll talk about that on Friday. Frame Fridays are the most important episodes of the week because we're talking about mindset. And once you get your mind right, everything else falls into place. But that's all we got here. CW says, people pleasing worked for me in a different era of time, but nowadays it doesn't benefit us. It took me a long time to start asking myself, what's in it for me? And then Can of Rockstar says, I don't should all over people is a great t-shirt design. I should have a coffee mug, right? Don't should all over people. By the way, if you guys go to merch.comeonmanpod.com, you can get some merch. I don't promote it enough. That's all we got, guys. Tune into the podcast on Friday. I already told you about that. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, hit those notifications. And that's all we got. We'll see you next time.
This has been the Come On Man podcast. Now, go out and get it.